Their worst nightmare is that we'll suddenly stop talking and start doing. Their worst nightmare is that after all of us get educated about all these things that are in these bills, wait till you hear about financial regulation, and wait till you hear about the Disclose Act, and wait till you hear about all this stuff coming up. When all this comes out in talk radio, this fall I'm going to stop talking. I've already started in Las Vegas last week to take the show to an affiliate station in a state where we need to make a change. Harry Reid needs to retire.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go down to Tucson in August. I'm going to pick the worst month to go to. I'm a beach guy. I'm going to go to Tucson in August, and I'm going to ask all of you to come with me. It's August 5th, and we're going to insist that John McCain be retired.
Yeah.
And that J.D. Hayworth be elected. I'm going to take this show to Orlando and Pensacola and West Palm Beach, and we're going to insist that Marco Rubio be the next senator.
Right.
We're going to insist that Lieutenant Colonel West be the congressman from West Palm Beach. We're going to insist that people who will respect the Constitution, restore our opportunity society, restore our free market economy, and run these devil left-wingers out of town be elected this time. We're tired of talking. I'm blue in the face about talking. I'm going to become the FCC's worst nightmare. They're going to think to themselves, this is why we need the fairness doctrine. This guy is actually going to stop talking and start doing. We're going to be in Ohio. We're going to be in Wisconsin. We're going to be in Pennsylvania. We're going to be in Delaware. I'm going to go into the heart of Delaware. We're going to turn this around because I found out in Delaware, there's people saying we ought to have that Arizona immigration law. We're being overrun too. In Delaware, we have people like you everywhere in this country waking up to what's happening and determining to do something about it. That's the next phase. We've all come together. We're all learning about this stuff. We're all reading the headlines, and it's time to get our country back. Thank you. I want to do this first and then we'll take questions. But look, my colleague at Kogo, you don't realize in the morning when you're listening to Chip at Kogo, this beautiful woman is there in the studio. And she is raising hell like you wouldn't believe. Bring up LaDonna Harvey.
Right on. Come on.
Hi, I'm LaDonna. And it's very nice to meet you, and I want Rodger to go ahead and take some questions first before I start talking, because he's here, and that just makes sense.
You're going to answer questions too.
Okay, I'll answer.
All right. She's more fun than I am. Anyway, questions? Okay, go ahead.
About new jobs since he was CNN. He's changed his stance on immigration.
And, you know, I haven't followed Lou. I followed him more when he was on CNN, and I guess now he's not or something. And I don't watch a lot of television either because I like to keep my mind clear. Radio. Just keep in mind radio. No, but...
Right now he's saying he's only in favor of advocating border security. I always got the impression that he was against illegal immigration. Now he's for it.
Yeah, I haven't followed it very closely, but you're going to find a lot of pressure on this illegal immigration issue. There's a lot of pressure on this because there's 12 million undocumented Democrats, and they got to get them to the polls. That's what this is all about, in case you haven't waken up to that. What this is all about is getting some kind of amnesty by November to save these Democrats and their phony baloney jobs and their wild and wacky and leftist ideas, because they know the public has rejected them. They can look at the polls. They understand what's happening. The whole thing about immigration doesn't have anything to do with the border. It doesn't have anything to do with Arizona and crime and drugs and cartels and violence and all that stuff, which we talk about every day. It has to do with how do we get 8 million more voters. I had a quote from Alicio Medina, who's the vice president of SEIU. How many listen to the program? How many heard this thing? Many more of you are going to have to start listening. Anyway, Alicio Medina, SEIU vice president, the Service Employees Union, and an Obama advisor on this issue, was giving a speech in which he said, we progressives have to stand with the immigrants, and he means the illegals. We have to stand with the immigrants, they will stand with us, we must bring 8 million new voters, and he said we'll get at least 2/3 of them, to the polls this November to save the progressive agenda. They're as naked as that about this. That's what immigration is all about. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Rodger, no one needs to be retired more than Bob Filner in the South Bay. And we've got a great conservative Republican candidate, Popovich, running against him. Are you going to be helping his campaign?
I've had him on, and I'll have him on again.
Right on.
It's one of those congressional races. I have targeted 60 of those congressional races with the help of a lot of people who know more about this than I do. But there are 60. Keep in mind, we only need 40 to change the majority of the House. There are 60 vulnerable Democrats that we're going after. And we've got great candidates. People have come out of the woodwork. And let me say something about the women who've come out of the woodwork. Many of you were at Searchlight, right? Searchlight? Many of you were at Searchlight. You saw Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin gets up there, and I agree with Alec Baldwin. She's much hotter in person. Anyway, so I'm up there at the stage, and she's up at the stage, and she's giving her speech, and she's introduced, and of course the crowd's on its feet, a lot of cheering, a lot of hollering, and then I noticed something very different. Hundreds of women rushed the stage like it was a rock concert. Some of them holding up her book. And I said, wait a minute. I've, over the years, right, been exposed to a lot of feminists. They write about juggling kids and job and all that stuff. This woman has lived it. This woman has lived juggling a lot of kids and a lot of problems and her professional career and the pressures of the media and all of that, and she's still got a smile on her face, and she's still Mama Grizzly, and women relate to that woman. The Nikki Haley's of the world and the Sharon Angles of the world, who've come up in politics now, inspired by the idea that you don't have to be a leftist feminist to be a success as a woman in politics. You can be an actual, real American mom and professional person, and you can still get ahead in this thing, and she has inspired these people. Sarah Palin doesn't do another thing. I've looked across this country, and more women inspired to get involved, and really doing a great job. And I want you to give your support. That's another thing I'm going to do. I know you're not going to be able to fly to all these places I'm going to go, but I want you to pick one where you do. And I also want you, every time that I mention a candidate, I mentioned J.D. Hayworth, and I gave his website, I'm not just wasting the breath, I'm not just expelling CO2 for the hell of it. I want you to go up to that website and make a donation. Because the unions, and their millions are on the other side, we have to make a donation to make it possible for these candidates to win. This is the kind of political muscle that you have collectively, that if we marshal it, if we focus it, if we make it happen in those 60 races, this House of Representatives will change and the money spigot will turn off. That's the whole thing.
Well, Rodger, we have a lot of laws on the books. We have a lot of people that have taken solemn oaths to uphold the Constitution to the state of California and the United States, and they're not doing it. I can think of Jerry Brown going against Proposition 8. I can think of Schwarzenegger. I can think of Gavin Newsom right off the bat. Why aren't they being held accountable? Why aren't they in chains? Why aren't they in jail? I mean, they're violating their oath of office.
Because since the beginning of the Republic, and you could go to the election of 1800, each side thought the other side was rejecting the Constitution and violating their oath of office and all that. founders left us with a mechanism for regime change. It's called the election. We make the judgment at election time. You can wish these people were in jail and in prison. John Adams wished that Jefferson was in prison for sedition. I mean, there was all this going all the way back. We have a difference of opinion about the direction of this country. We don't think that socialist, top-down, central plan, Western European democracies are the way to go in this country. We have been innovative and prosperous because we've been free. Now, not everybody agrees with us. We have to win at the ballot box. It isn't going to be